Hello and welcome to part 3 of this chapter, contour integration. In this part we shall evaluate one more real integral by means of contour integration. This is the integral we shall solve in this part, that is cosine of ax divided by x square plus b square from minus infinity to plus infinity, where it is given that a and b both are real numbers and among them a is positive and b is non-zero. To use the contour integration technique, first of all we have to convert this real integral to that one of complex integral. For that reason we consider this complex integrand, that is e to the power iaz by z square plus b square. Actually we should have considered cosine of az by z square plus b square, but we know that exponential function is easier to use, that's why we have considered exponential function. Next we shall select the suitable contour. Now the limits of the real integration are minus infinity and plus infinity. That means the real axis must be a part of the closed contour. So we select the closed contour in such a manner that the real axis is a part of the contour. And we find that the singularities are plus minus ib, z equal to plus minus ib, which lie on the imaginary axis. So no singularities lie on the real axis. So we first draw the contour. Roughly this is our contour. A semicircle of radius are centered at the origin. As we have said that the real axis must be the part of the contour. So here is the real axis. This is a part of the contour. Since the contour must be a closed curve, so we are selecting this semicircle. The locations of the singularities depend on the sign of b. If b is positive, then the singularity ib lies above the real axis and the singularity minus ib lies below the real axis. But if b is negative, then the singularity minus ib lies in the above the real axis and the singularity I plus ib lies below the real axis. So here we shall assume that b is greater than 0. So then this is the position of the singularity ib and this is the singularity minus ib. Now we have selected the contour in such a manner that the singularity plus ib lies within the contour. So r must be selected large enough such that the singularity lies within the contour. Now capital R is a large real positive real number, and as r tends to plus infinity, this contour covers the total real axis. So suppose capital C be this closed contour and the direction is taken as anti-clockwise, that is the positive sense. So we shall evaluate this integral around the closed contour C, and this contour contains one singularity, that is simple pole at the point IB. So by Cauchy's residue theorem, the value of this integral should be equal to 2 pi I multiplied by the sum of the residues of the singularities lies within the contour. Now within the contour there is only one singularity at IB. So here we write residue at z equal to plus IB. Now we shall break this integral into two parts. Along is from minus capital R to plus capital R, and then along this curve, that is semicircle. So here it is. In the first part we have to integrate this from minus R to plus R along the real axis, and in the second part we have to integrate this along this curve from plus R to minus R along this semicircle to the counterclockwise direction, and this is equal to 2 pi I into residue at z equal to IB. This is defined by limit z tends to IB and z minus IB multiplied by this integrand fz. So after the calculation we shall find that this is 2 pi I limit z tends to IB and it is e to the power I a z divided by z square plus b square can be written as z plus ib into z minus ib. After cancelling z minus ib, we can find that this is z plus ib. So if we replace the value of z by ib, then we shall find that it is 2 pi I multiplied by e to the power ia into ib divided by 2ib, which is equal to pi into e to the power minus ab divided by b. So we have this equation. Actually, along the real axis from minus r to plus r, z is nothing but x, because if we assume z equal to x plus iy, then along the real axis y equal to 0. So along the real axis we may replace z by x. Next we shall compute the value of this integral. Now we shall evaluate this integral, where gamma is this semicircle from plus r comma 0 to minus r comma 0. So if we write the equation of this semicircle that is of radius r, then equation of this semicircle should be z equal to r into e to the power I theta, where theta varies from 0 to pi. So here we write the equation of the semicircle gamma, that is z equal to r e to the power I theta, theta varies from 0 to pi. So differentiating, we find dz equal to I r e to the power I theta d theta. So if we replace this in the main integral, we shall find that this is e to the power I a. Now z equal to r e to the power I theta divided by, here we write z square plus b square. Now dz can be written as iz into d theta. So here we write iz d theta. And remember, theta varies from 0 to pi. Actually, our target is to show that the contribution of this integral is nothing but 0. For that reason, we consider modulus of this integral, that is e to the power iaz dz by z square plus b square. We know that this is less equal to the integration and then modulus e to the power iaz divided by z square plus b square dz. Now which is equal to integration modulus e to the power iaz modulus of dz divided by modulus z square plus b square. Now we shall use a very well-known inequality in complex numbers, that is modulus of a plus b is always greater or equal to modulus of modulus a minus modulus b. So in this case we shall use this inequality in case of z square plus b square. So modulus of z square plus b square should be greater or equal to modulus of modulus z square minus modulus b square. So inverting, we find that 1 by modulus of z square plus b square is less equal to 1 by modulus of modulus z square minus b square, because b is a real number, so b square is always positive. So if we apply this inequality, then we shall find that it is less equal to integration. Now modulus of e to the power aiz, we have already obtained that this is equal to this one. So e to the power iar e to the power I theta. So e to the power I theta can be written as cos theta plus I sin theta. Its modulus. Now modulus of dz can be written as modulus of z into d theta. Now modulus of I equal to 1, so modulus of dz is modulus z into d theta divided by, so it will be replaced by modulus of mod z square minus b square on the curve gamma. So this is equal to, on the curve gamma, now we can expand this. So then we can find that this is equal to e to the power I a r cos theta, its modulus, multiplied by e to the power minus a r sin theta. It is multiplied by mod z d theta divided by mod z square minus b square, its modulus. Now along this curve gamma, so this is the curve, along this curve gamma, the value of modulus z is always capital R, the radius. So along this curve gamma, we can put mod z equal to capital R. So then it becomes, now e to the power I a r cos theta. A r cos theta is a real number. So e to the power I into some real number. Its modulus is always 1 because it is cos of this plus I sin of this. So it is always 1. E to the power minus a r sin theta divided by, so along the curve gamma it is capital R square minus b square. Now capital R is greater than b, so no need to put modulus here because R square is always greater than b square, into mod z is r t theta. Now if we replace the limit for theta, then we shall find that this is equal to theta from 0 to pi e to the power minus a r sin theta into r divided by r square minus b square. Next we shall use this Jordan inequality. We know that this inequality is valid if theta lies between 0 and pi by 2, but here we have the value of theta lies between 0 and pi. So first of all we have to convert this upper limit from pi to pi by 2, and we know that sin pi minus theta is always sin theta. So by a well-known property of definite integral, we can write it 2 into 0 to pi by 2 of this integrand. Next we shall use the Jordan inequality on this function e to the power minus a r sin theta. So between 0 and pi by 2, we know that sin theta is greater or equal to 2 by pi into theta. So multiplying by minus a r, we find that minus a r sin theta is less equal to minus 2 by pi a r theta. So e to the power minus a r sin theta is less equal to e to the power minus 2 a r by pi into theta, because exponential function is increasing function. So if we apply this inequality in the integral, we shall find that this will be less equal to 2 times 0 to pi by 2 e to the power minus 2 a r by pi into theta multiplied by r square minus b square into capital R t theta. Now r is independent of theta, so we can take this r by r square minus b square outside the integral. So we have taken this outside the integral, so the integral becomes only e to the power minus 2 a r by pi into theta. So we can easily integrate this. So after the integration it becomes this. Now we shall replace the limits of theta. Now replacing the limits of theta, we find that after the simplification this integral becomes pi by a into r square minus b square multiplied by 1 minus e to the power minus a r. And if r tends to infinity, this is easily becomes tends to 0. So we have a very important result that modulus of this integral tends to 0 as r tends to infinity. So here we write that modulus of this integral tends to 0 as r tends to infinity, because we have already obtained that this expression is less equal to this one, which is tends to 0 as r tends to infinity. So the only possibility is that this quantity tends to 0 as r tends to infinity. Now if we apply r tends to infinity in this equation, then we find that this is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity e to the power I a x by x square plus b square dx, and we have already obtained that value of this integral tends to 0 as r tends to infinity. So this is 0 and this is equal to pi by b e to the power minus ab. Next we know that e to the power I ax is equal to cosine of ax plus I sine of ax. Now breaking the integral into two parts, we find that this is equal to this one. Now we shall compare the real parts and the imaginary parts from the both sides. Now comparing the real and imaginary parts from the both sides, we find that these are the result. Among these two, this is our required result. Integration of cos ax by x square by b square from minus to plus infinity, and the answer is pi by b into e to the power minus ab. Furthermore, we have obtained one more result, that is integration of sine ax by x square plus b square from minus to plus infinity is equal to 0. This is obvious because sine ax by x square plus b square, this is odd function, so its integration from minus to plus infinity will be always equal to 0. So that completes our result, and thanks for watching.